There was one, and my sister was upside down. So like a week or two before, uh, I come on the picture. I'm like, woo, surprise! That surprise, that happy boom package. My mom went into tears, and my dad was happy. This is a
Mhm.
story I told and repeated over again. It's like, oh, this was like the worst day of my life. My mom was like, okay, that was funny when I was a kid, but now I understand. It's like it's not funny. And
Yeah.
here, so for 9 months, they nobody knew I was here. So the relationship with my parents is so distant. Like I appreciate them for who they are as, guides or parents or whatever on this life, but there's no connection. So since
Mm.
I'm a kid, like really small, as far as I can remember, I always questions like why is everybody like kiss and hugging to their parents, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, stay that side. I'm happy.
What's up, you beautiful beasts? I'm Katie. I'm on a mission to help humans become the best possible versions of themselves and to strive for overall health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, all of the healths, without ever having to step on a scale. I have had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who've been through a plethora of experiences just being a human and existing. I believe that every single time somebody shares their story, at least one person listening will learn from it, be inspired by it, and maybe, just maybe, even change the entire direction of their life. These are the stories of humans unveiling their beautiful beast. Keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast. Are you wearing your mismatched socks today?
I have no idea. Let me check. No, they're matching. I've
Oh
got
my
match,
goodness.
but matching. I've got matching on today. Oh yeah, no, I don't have. Yeah, I could call my daughter. She's here with me. I can actually call her to borrow me one of her socks for the podcast.
That's okay. I'm actually not wearing any socks right now, so it's all good.
The mismatch. I've got a whole bag, and it's only mismatched socks. Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Like
Nice.
picking there. Ding ding ding. Are we
Now
recording?
is
We
that
recording.
starting from ECCP or is that something you've had?
Oh, the mismatched socks. It's been years. It's been
Nice.
years and decades of mismatched socks, and sometimes going to work. Yeah, I used to be in corporate, so sometimes when you're doing your trousers and they're too long because I'm like short, so I buy trousers and I'm like, damn, they're too long, so I kind of do something, and then they're too short because I just cut and then I staple, and I'm like, that's it, I'm going to work. And I'm like, oh, we can see my socks. They're not visible.
It makes the day more exciting, right?
Like, but people are going to look at you funny, but at least you bring a smile to their corporate face, so it's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So, listeners, I'm with my friend Malvina and tell them where you live because I think the majority of my listeners are in the United States.
Oh,
So,
wow. I'm in the south of France, in the southeast of France, next to Nice, on the outskirts of a medieval village called Saint-Paul-de-Vence.
ooh,
France. Yeah, it's actually quite nice. It's a nice village with
that's
a.
awesome. It feels very fortunate for me, for all of us to have friends like on the other side of the world. It's just so cool.
It is,
Yeah.
and how cool is that to be able to connect with people through. I mean, telepathy is awesome, but Zoom is pretty cool. You can put a face on.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
telling my husband before we started, I was like, by the way, the person I'm interviewing today is from France. And he goes, oh, like he was all impressed.
yeah. You see, I've got my frogs T-shirt. Not T-shirt. It's a jacket.
Nice.
Yeah. But if I go and get my jacket, I would look like a what do you call these things that are those mythological creatures from Ireland? Leprechaun. They're like
Oh,
all green.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got my
Funny.
leprechaun out.
That's funny. It matches my water bottle, kind of.
Green. I mean, I've got a blanket because where I am, there's no heater. Yeah, I've got a blanket. Yeah, I'm organized. That's what I'm
Nice.
working with. Because it's quite fresh. It keeps me awake.
Yes.
Good conversation going.
Huh?
But my hair is not is I'm going like that. It's okay.
You look fantastic.
I'm usually standing, so sitting is like I can do this. It's an exercise to sit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to not move. Yeah, that was hard for me, my first ECCP, because I was still in the midst of working too much and
Yeah.
like the living the definition of not having enough time. And so when I took the week off for my first ECCP, I was like, I'm supposed to be doing something right now and I'm sitting. So
When did
yeah.
you do first? When did you first do your first ECCP? It was a few years back, right?
It was April last year.
Oh, it was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So November was my second one.
Okay, so it's only a few months back, nearly a
Hmm.
year. Wow.
Yeah.
Still, you can sit still like that after a few months. Well done.
Yeah, I'm still like breathing heavily, but I'll be okay.
Oh wow. I'm this is my first podcast ever in my entire life.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, definitely. And I'm not used to sitting down, being on camera. I mean, I've been on camera in, breakout rooms and stuff for
Right.
various reasons, but it's definitely not my comfort zone. So
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad
Um,
it's mine because my this one, I guess I'm biased, but this one it's so laid back. Everything's editable. Like a lot of the ones I've been on, they're like, "Are you ready?" Okay, I'm hitting record. I'm like, "Okay." And then like I can't say anything wrong, so to speak, because they don't edit them. And I'm like, okay. But this one is just like, hey, let's have a conversation.
yeah, awesome.
So speaking
So
of that, oh, go ahead.
yeah, where are we going with the conversation? When
I
we
was just
travel.
gonna ask you if you can tell the listeners who you are and why you think you are who you are.
All right, so who I am. How do you define who am I? Um, I would say a global citizen, um, with a very, very bad habit of asking questions all the time. I'm just naturally curious and interested in people and new environments and trying to contribute to finding solutions to challenges that may occur. And so trying to define how do I know how do I define myself through embodied experience since like I'm super young. I did move a lot. I mean, I'm French passport born or whatever you call that. I'm born in France, but then I grew up in my first walking experience was in West Africa where I lived until I was 6.
Hmm.
Then I moved to France. So I have had extensive chunk of experiences of different countries, different energy system, different cultures, different environments altogether.
Mm.
And from that, I always asked myself, I was always intrigued by people's why do they do this? And I always hang out with staff and people. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's cooking, and why are you cooking this way, and why are you catching crab that way, or I just wanted to be involved
Yeah.
uh, with people. And I was told that don't do this, don't do that. The typical you're a child, you can't ask this, you can't do that. It's like, okay, well, I can because why not, And
Yeah.
okay, it's very different when you first grow up in an West African context. The relationship you have with your peers is so different. And with your family is very different and it's very open. There's a lot of responsibilities, like a 2-year-old will take care of a 1-year-old. It's natural,
Mm.
you know, in sync with the elements. So being in sync with the elements in that context, when I first got to France, And I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I mean, I looked around and the people were mean, they were racist. It was crazy. And I was
Mm.
like, why people question? So over the years, I kind of put myself back as an observer. And also, I have a twin sister. I need to throw that in the mix because I have a twin sister and I'm the surprise package and the um, twin is not square, twin. In the in the belly story, I'm the surprise package. So and I always heard my parents say up until recently, I'm like, how old am I? 47. So up until like maybe I was 45, I kept hearing the story of, oh yeah, the twins, or people are like, oh, it's great to have twins. I'm like, no, it's you could go to double work on, create like not creating your identity, but actually, saying, hey, this is me, respect me for who I am, and
Hmm.
and yes, we're born the same day at a few minutes or hours away, but we different beings, we two different
Yeah.
people and two different energy systems. Anyway, what am I talking about my sister now? Yes, because she was the one that was they've back in the late 70s when they did in the X-ray, they didn't have ecography system like they have now, like all these fancy scans and you can see your little seed moving and blah blah. And it was about there was one, and my sister was upside down. So like a week or two before, supposed to say hello to the world. Uh, I come on the picture. I'm like, woo, surprise! That surprise, that happy boom package. My mom went into tears, and my dad was happy. This is a
Mm.
story I told and repeated over again. It's like, oh, this was like the worst day of my life. My mom was like, okay, that was funny when I was a kid, but now I understand. It's like it's not funny. I'm here.
Yeah.
So for 9 months, they nobody knew I was here. So the relationship with my parents is so distant. Like I appreciate them for who they are as, guides or parents or whatever on this life, but there's no connection. So since
Mm.
I'm a kid, like really small, as far as I can remember, I always questions like why is everybody like kiss and hugging to their parents, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, stay that side. I'm happy. It's like I was like, maybe it's because I'm a twin, because I was with my sister. And I was like, because she was like, it's just a friend. Might as well use the friendship and just be mischief together and,
Right.
around. It's like you're given friend or enemy, depending on the day. Oh, she ate my cookie. It's like, oh no, okay, well, she's my enemy now. It's like, oh yeah, we need to steal the whole box of cookies. She's my friend. It's like having like manipulation from a twin perspective. Yeah, I can tell you a whole this we can do a whole episode on that. But so from that point, she was the first one to be born. I'm number two, and because she was born upside down,
Mm.
she had attention. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm saying it's okay, cool because I couldn't remember. But I was put in a warm chamber for like 2 weeks, and she only stayed 1 week. So again, the energetic link with my parents was like, okay, they didn't know about me. I'm on this planet. Now they know
Yeah.
about 7 days. Now I'm here, and then they're putting me in the chamber. So I'm super connected with foreigners. I mean, I make friends like this. Like I make connections with people very easily. But with my parents, I have no affinity.
Mm.
Hey, it's we don't have much relatable subjects, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, apart from food and wine and stuff, but even so, you can only go to a certain extent. And with my sister, we are connected like business partners. Like we know how to work together, but we are not physically attached. We like super detached. So this is interesting because the fact of being a twin and all these subconscious patterns or non-energetic energies that were not created, a non-acknowledgement for before I came to this planet and after what happened, makes me part of who I am today in my human experience, and why I'm so curious about understanding why people, what the human connection or the human interaction, or it's like the same thing with animals. It's like,
Hmm.
why are certain animals the way they are in their behavior in the wild, and why certain animals sometimes are, they seem like I can pick up they're nice animals, but then they reflect sometimes the energy of the owner or the people they live with, who have some interesting attitude, and then the animal sometimes gets like fearful, or it can bite. I'm just like, why do people say this animal is not nice? It's actually a super nice animal. It's just how you approach it.
Yeah.
All of these starter pack experience have taken me to be an observer, because my sister was really the dominant one in our, because there's no other siblings, right? So she was the first one, and she was always like talking loud, and being the front stage, which is, I'm fine with it. But
Right.
sometimes I wanted to voice my opinion, or voice is like, no, you did something nasty and you're saying it's me. It's like, no, 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 this is not going to work. It's like, no, you have to take your responsibilities, and you did the mistake, you're going to be grounded for it, not me. So that fight for, it was really a fight for justice and my voice to be heard in the right, authentic way, and not people saying, "Oh, you're jealous of your sister." I don't even know what jealousy means. I have no idea what jealousy means. I had to learn what it was to understand why people would label me as jealous because I was saying this. So the human labeling, um, putting you in a box, you don't fit in, you're not enough, blah, 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 blah. You have like, okay, that's your story. I will still ask the questions. Why are you saying this?
Yeah.
It's really pissing people off. It's like, why are you saying this? And you're like, then you make them reflect. So yeah, I do ask sometimes the wrong question at the right time. and
I
uh
love that though.
and that's about me. So I'm interested in human and making a difference with the kids in the world. So my passion lies with the children. I love adults, but we are
Hmm.
just a little bit more grown up or older, but we still children at heart. So, but the next generation are so important in this world, and I believe that if we learn how to re-communicate with who we are deep, and be clear about it, and how we can help um, children of tomorrow to be in a better communication space, I think we'll be in a better world. That's the big idea.
Yeah.
It's a big,
I love
but
that.
at the end of the day, if we
Yeah.
learn how to communicate, then I think we can bridge some waters and rivers and mountains and get to a better place if we, co-create together.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. I wanted to comment on so when I was growing up, it was me and my brother. There's four of us, but the other two were way older. We didn't grow up with them. And
Okay.
my brother was the problem child, so he got all the attention. Like I wouldn't call it positive attention necessarily, but everybody's always keeping an eye on my brother. And I played alone very well, but I wanted all the attention. And
Oh,
then my husband, he was a middle child. He didn't get a lot of attention and he didn't want the attention. So he was good just by himself. So now we have our son who
mm-hmm.
has both of us in him. So he will go off and play by himself. He'll be totally fine. And then he'll be like, Mommy, come play with me. Oh, okay. So it's like it's this constant mix of the two of us and how we grew up separately and now we see it in this little child, which is helpful to know because you were talking about communication and like he knows to communicate, but yeah, I'm okay by myself or can you come play it with me, you know?
That's
So,
amazing.
huh?
How old is he?
He's 6.5.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Can be naughty. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does he play music?
He's starting to play piano.
Oh, because I see the
Yeah.
guitar.
Huh?
So,
Oh,
but
that's a
I see
clock.
oh, it's
That's
a
a
clock.
clock. Yeah, it's actually a clock that I took apart. And here, I'll show you. I'll give you a
It-
little. It's a clock, and it used to have, if you see up there, the red one,
Yeah.
that used to be clear. And so I spray painted it, and like I took it apart and spray painted it, and then I decorated his room with it.
So
Yeah. And then he fell in love with like all the Pixar movies. And so we have this wall over here. Yeah. And then he fell in love with space. And so we have this wall over here.
Oh, that is so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
love space and
he's
planet.
he's got the coolest room
He
ever.
does. He's got cool parents.
Oh, thanks. So do you have any kids?
I have one daughter. She's 18, soon 19.
Hmm. And how's that?
Yeah.
How's that mentally for you?
It's
You
awesome.
excited?
Very excited.
Sad?
It, yeah. She
Hmm.
had the privilege to grow in all this adventure of being in France and then Africa. I moved to the States afterwards. Long story short, fast forward, I had a dream when I was a kid. When I was in France, when I arrived in France, I was 6. And at about 8 years old, I saw a documentary on Nelson Mandela. I did talk about this, I think, in ECCP. I don't know if you were in my breakout room when I did that, but I had a dream, not a dream, well, I had a dream that I wanted to go and meet Nelson Mandela. I saw this documentary and I said, that's it. Pack my bags, asked my dad to take me to the airport. Obviously, he refused, like, nope. Where are you going? I'm going to the airport to help that man. I'm too young. Anyway, like, yeah, I am going to go and help him. And took me about, well, I was about 8. When I was 27, I dropped everything that I was doing in corporate to live my dream, and I always wanted to be in the humanitarian field, and I went to South Africa. And long story short, helping kids, doing social work and empowerment and whatever other things. And I met him. I was invited at his 86th birthday. So I do have this great passion and believing in your dream. Doesn't matter how long it takes on how you get there, as long as you hurt nothing, you don't become a criminal to get to your dream. But yeah. See on, I've got 3 rules, like no drugs dealing, no arms dealing, no prostitution. Apart from that, you can no don't kill anyone, and then you're like you can go and achieve your dream. It's a mild golden rule, but yeah, you want to do it, and be positive and constructive. So it doesn't matter how many jobs you do or how you get to achieve your dream, just never quit on it. So we lived in South Africa. I lived in South Africa, and this is how I met her father on the projects. And little baby seedling of a new human being came alive, and we lived in the bush for like 6 years. So her lifestyle as a kid, as a small, was also African, and very much into helping others, plant seeds, have food gardens, very simple. We lived in an area where there was no running water, no electricity, but we had everything with authentic people, authentic experiences, and you could see, yeah, you were contributing with other people to make a difference for the children. So yeah, now in France. So hopefully soon, when she's finished high school in 6 months, we projects.
Yay. That's cool.
Yeah, we came back to France 8 years ago, and I was like, wow. Yeah. Anyway, it's karma.
Are you still kind of in a culture shock?
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever get to the new people mindset ever.
Mm,
I am learning how to detach myself from the mindset of this is who they are. They don't want to change. I can contribute to constructive shifts. But
Mm-hmm.
if people don't do it, yeah. And if they complain, then I'll let them complain, but not with me around. So I tend not to mix much with the local. The
Mm.
French,
Right.
like
Yeah.
we live in an area where the average people are about 60, 70, it's like, so the wise people I like to meet them, the one who can add value with their sharing their life experience and still contributing to the human evolution. But the ones who complain for complaining. See, I'm working on my triggers. I'm
Yeah.
working
Are
on.
you writing? Are you writing this down? Just kidding.
Oh, you're recording it.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a copy.
With great resilience, and I do not go to the shops when they go shopping.
Mm,
Like, no.
yeah.
Yes, it's an interesting, it's like when Sean talks about embodiment, I'm like, yeah, I know what you talk about. Because after an experience, I go full in and embody the experience.
Yeah.
I've learned the lesson or not. So
Tell me more about that. So, did you take ECCP because you do want to be a coach? Because I know some people just take it for the experience and the information, but are you actually a coach? Are you becoming a coach? Have you been coaching forever? And
okay.
how did that happen? Whatever
All
your
right.
answer is, how did it happen?
What happened? It happened through finding about, learning about Sean, seeing Sean on different programs. Um, and I was like, wow, he's cool. I like I like his energy and I like what he says. He actually is so pragmatic, and which is I really love. He's very pragmatic and he's very human. And I was like, okay, whatever he does. Like, what was this guy's name again? So I got an email, signed up on one of these channels, and I get emails, and I've got huge internet challenges, so I never really look at the replays and or the stuff. And then one day I see the thing about ECCP. I'm like, ooh, this is nice. And I'm doing holistic healing, and I've been doing a lot of workshops when I was in Africa, with children and women and empowerment and crisis and blah blah, health and sanitation. So until I joined ECCP, or actually until I had a call, I did BCC. I didn't finish graduating yet. I'm still in the process of, and when I joined before I joined ECCP, I had a call with Michelle, and Michelle's in the call. She's like, "But Malvina, you're your coach." I'm like, "What? How is that possible?" I'm like, "Hold on, can you repeat that?" She's like, "Okay, we only have 30 minutes." I was like, 20 minute 25. I was like, "What?" Like, well, apparently I was already doing coaching in my own way, because I do holistic healing and I help people and I mentor people through different various scenarios, whether it's in business or holistic healing or nutrition. But the way she was, and what I was looking for is a community where I can connect with different people from different backgrounds. Either they are already certified coaches in their, transformational or life coach or whatever coach label plus that they're doing.
Hmm.
Like sharing the experiences. And I was like, how do I make my voice clear? And it's still not clear. So this is why I joined, to get clarity
Hmm.
and certainty in what I'm doing is right. Because I live in an environment by a choice. It was not my first choice, but by a choice in France where I am now. And in this area, what I do, like holistic healing, mentoring, transformation, people are just like, just get a job. I'm like, I have a job. I've been
Yeah.
doing it. I've been doing what I'm doing with passion at different stages with different modules for 20 years. Like, yeah, but you don't get paid for your service. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting paid because I don't know how to voice, and that self-worth part is so important.
Yeah.
And that value and that community is so important. And this is one of the reasons why I joined ECC. I don't think I answered your question, but I tried.
You
Remember what?
did. You did.
Okay.
So I think what's beautiful about everything that you just said is that you're not coaching for the money. Like, it's such a different experience when you're with somebody who's only chasing after like high ticket clients versus the person who's like, I'm going to coach everybody to become a really good coach to you know, make me more valuable as a coach so that I can coach more people. Cuz I want to help people, you know? And you can really feel the energy difference when you're speaking to the two different people.
Hard. It's well, it shouldn't be hard. This is one of the things that from family patterns and generations, and I don't know if your family, I think I heard you in one of, or when you have family that's from Italy, right?
From what?
Don't you have like family from Italy or something like that?
I do, but it's my great grandparents came from Italy.
But like for instance, why am I asking you this? Oh yeah, because my grandparents were in the First and Second World War.
Hmm.
So I always in the family history, you've got to work hard to get to where you want to go and blah, the whole, scarcity mindset. And I was like, you don't have to work hard. You can just love what you do. Number one,
Hmm.
be authentic in what you do. If you don't like it, change. And you can make money doing something you love. I mean, you could be money will come to you at some point.
Yes.
This is like my kids' mindset. Like, and then eventually you get, caught up, go to university, blah, blah, blah. You've got to work, okay. And then you work hours, like you go through two burnout, and then you quit everything and you go and you make no money. And when I was in South Africa, I went for 9 months. I stayed 12 years doing humanitarian projects and volunteer work, not paid, make a plan. It works.
Hmm.
And I make a plan. When you come back to Europe, nobody fucking cares about what you've done before. You come
Mm.
back to no one, and the French will make you pay for that in the sense of, oh yeah, well, we're not going to make it easy for you because you decided to quit on France and the French people. Kidding. Like, now I have to pay. I've got to pay bills. It's like, how do you live? It's like, can I make a plan? Well, I've got an 18-year-old going to university or whatever she's going to do in 6 months. It's like, Mom, we have no money. I'm like, oh, we'll make it work. She's like, she's like, Mom, get real, get a job, get paid. I need to pay university. It's like, you can also work, like you can be a coach, you're really good at what you do. Like, Mom, stop. I'm like, okay. Sorry, I'm getting cold. I'm like tucking myself in.
No, sorry.
Oh, I don't have,
Usually in my room I have a blanket on too because my room is cold for some reason.
yeah.
But in
Oh, yeah.
here, this is the hottest room in the house.
It's winter where you are, right?
Yes.
What side of the
So, huh?
what side of the state are you in?
I'm in California, so people make fun of us when we get cold
Oh,
because we're like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, it's 55 degrees out. It's freezing.
Yeah, where we live, it's the same thing. We buy the Mediterranean, so where everywhere else it's like -10, we're like, oh, it's very cold today. It's 10 degrees.
Yeah.
We're talking Celsius. I don't know what Celsius. 10 degrees is probably
Like
6.
30 something, I'm guessing Fahrenheit.
I
Maybe.
don't know. I'm bad in math. I'm not gonna do the calculation, but I'm very tempted.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't Fahrenheit stuff. Yeah, whatever. So it's yeah, where everybody's like freezing their ass. We just like walking with like little jacket and like, it's nice today. And when we get rain here, people don't know how to drive. They just like don't go to work.
Really?
There's like chaos and accidents. They don't know how to drive.
Mm.
What's your next you're doing podcasts. I
Hmm.
have I mean honestly, I didn't look at podcasts. I did watch I think 2 episodes today. It's like, okay, let's just see what this is all about because I signed up and I had no flipping clue. I'm like, Well, Malvina, for once, you kind of knowing where you're landing. And obviously, this didn't serve me because I've been talking about rubbish for like 45 minutes.
You know,
It's
I
like,
think I think this was good because we got to know each other better.
yeah.
Yeah. And now
So,
everyone in the world is gonna get to know us better. I'm just kidding.
you should,
Honestly, I only have like 39 subscribers. So,
oh,
yeah.
come on. You don't send stuff, or I don't even know how it works. I don't even know how a podcast works. Anyways.
Um, I do like a sneak peek the day before on Instagram. Um, but I'm thinking I should probably start like advertising the podcast because I have over 50 episodes.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and it's still like it's a small following only because I haven't really done anything with it other than Instagram. So,
Well, your own time whenever it's time. It will happen.
yeah. So,
That's
I do have one more question for you though.
cool.
I ask at the end of every single episode,
Huh?
and that is if you had one piece of advice that you could give to the world, what would it be?
Okay. And if you don't know what a dream is, because some people don't, some cultures do not know what a dream is. And I talk from experience. Um, Imagine that you want to be something or you want to become something and make it happen. That's called a dream. Like have a vision and it can happen. Yeah, never stop dreaming or start dreaming and dream
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Because dreams do come alive. That is like nobody can take that away from you. You know, you're like your authentic self. You know, go and shine. It might not please people. It might make some people uncomfortable, but just keep going and never give up on who you are. Never for anyone. And if you see that you're in a toxic relationship with a family, whatever, and they do not support who you are as a human being, get out of it. Take your feet, your shoes, wear barefoot, doesn't matter, just get out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not kidding. It's like just get out. You know, with a smile, get out, but run.
Right.
You have to.
But run.
You have to run.
Ah,
That's my advice is really have a dream and in the process, don't forget about nature and being grateful that we're breathing air every day, we are new human beings every day. We're connected, we're interconnected people and human beings. We're part of a whole picture. And sometimes, yeah, we forget that we are so interconnected and ask for help. That is one of the biggest lessons from all my history is to ask for help. Help, just be vulnerable and ask for help. And it's okay to ask for help. It's like, I don't know. I don't have the
yeah.
answer. I don't know. You do have an answer, but if you don't say anything, how people supposed to know that you need help with whatever it is.
Right.
So like it's by dreaming, it's great, but you can't do it alone. It's there's you're not alone on an island. You might be in your own body, but you're still connected. So islands are interconnected through water. So if you have a dream, you can't reach a dream on your own. You need the whole factory, which is your whole body mind complex to
Yeah.
start. You got your chosen family or your family or your friends and other people. So ask for help. It's okay to be vulnerable and ask for help. I think it's great.
I love it. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Malvina signing off. Until next time. Balaka.